Today I'm going to show you how I created these decorative objects to give a bit of dimension to my boring coffee table. Here I am taking the letter G that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. G is the first letter of my last name, and I'm simply painting it in the color light gray. I made sure to evenly apply the paint all over the G, the front, the side, and the back. I then let the first coat dry and applied a second coat and also let that dry. I then went in with a glittery goldish pink paint and I painted the top of the G with the paint, and I did apply a generous amount because I did want the G to be glittery. After I paint the first layer and let it dry, I continue and add a second layer of paint so that I can enhance the glitter. Again, I do apply a generous amount. Once that is dry, I then go in with a gold metallic color and I proceed to paint the inside sides and the outside sides of the G. The paints that I'm using I already had in my paint collection, so it didn't cost me anything. However, if you decide to do this yourself, you can find this paint at Walmart for under $1, and sometimes you may even find them on sale. Once I finish painting the inside and the outsides of the side of the G, I then set it aside and let it dry. Please excuse the order of the images. I filmed all at once, which is why the G is gray. Moving on, so here I am painting a Dollar Tree succulent vase that I purchased for $1, and I'm taking the same color of light gray and just distributing the paint evenly. Going in with the metallic gold, I proceeded to paint a line down the middle of the vase all around. I then went back in with the same gold paint and painted a line on the bottom of the vase all around as well. Once that dried, I went in with the same glitter paint that I used on the G, and I painted in between the two gold lines all around the tiny vase as well. While that was drying, I took the back of my paintbrush and dipped it in the gold paint. I then put polka dots on the gray part of the vase that was not painted gold or glittery. Going back in with the gold paint, I painted the top trim of the vase. Once it was all painted, I set it aside to dry, and when it was all dry, I just put the succulent back in, and it was all complete. Okay, so here I am painting a empty can of green beans. I went in with the same gray color and I just painted the entire can. I only applied one coat. I also painted the inside top half and I set it aside to dry. I then went in with crafting cord that I already had but can be purchased at Dollar Tree for $1. And I simply wrapped it around the tin can and tied a bow. Once it was complete, I just stuck some flowers in there. I found these flowers at Michael's for about 30 cents or so, and I did get them on sale. And for this last project, I had an empty jar of pickles, and I simply painted the lid white. And this paint I did have already in my collection, but again can be found for about $1 at Walmart. Once I painted the entire lid, I set it aside to dry. Once it was completely dry, I went in with another gold paint in my collection and I painted the lid gold. I could have used the other metallic gold paint I had, but I wanted a different shade of gold. I also painted a metal accent that I was planning on putting on top of the lid, but I didn't like it. Once the lid was painted, I set it aside to dry, and I went in with my gold body tattoos that I purchased at the Dollar Tree for $1. All I did was I took the clear cover off and I stuck the tattoo to the glass jar with the sticky part facing the jar. Then I went in with water and a napkin, and I made sure that the napkin was wet, and then I dabbed the napkin onto the tattoo. Once the tattoo was completely saturated, I was ready to peel off the paper, and the tattoo was complete. And all I did here was stick in a tea light, and then I closed the jar with the lid once it was dry. And there you have it. 4 super cheap, simple accent pieces for my coffee table or for my hanging frame. This was about $2 each. I hope you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you'd like to see how I created this centerpiece wood box, check out my previous